one day before the flight to Salt Lake City to get this tooth taken out on Monday or Tuesday. So out in the morning, walking before the crowds. There's never crowds here in Montana. And just getting some fresh air, grounding, walking with the little one and one of the two dogs. So that's my medicine. Made it to Salt Lake City. Now I'll Uber to the hotel. The lap of luxury. Just kidding. All right, made it to the hotel room, and kind of gotta find something to eat, healthy, clean food, super critical, especially this week. So I'm gonna go look to see what they have to offer here in downtown Salt Lake City. Nothing too heavy, of course, but you don't want to fill yourself with Cedols and junk just before you're going in for some biological or otherwise healthy surgery. You want to be at your best. So I'm gonna go look for something good to eat. If I find anything, I will let you know. But I'm gonna rest here for a second. It's been a long day, and can't wait to get the show on the road.
June 1973.
That's a false age. I feel much younger.
You look good. You know who did that? They used to put down my birth certificates.
No, I stopped at 35. Everything else is just unnecessary. So I took a year off and decided what I really want to do. And I came back and I said, all I'm going to do is what's good for the patient. All I'm going to do is biologic dentistry and things I enjoy. And here we are.
Nice. All right, here we go. So this is going to provide an analysis for your physical, your mental, your emotional, your metabolism, your musculoskeletal balance, and your autonomic nervous system. Okay. Flip your hand around. Okay, now we're going to trade hands. Go ahead and close your hand. Good. And then go over here. Turn your hand around. Good. Okay, we're going to go back to your left hand. And close. Okay, now you're going to bring your right foot up. Perfect. Okay.
Thank you, testing.
Okay, now your left foot. Straight. And then.
Both feet.
Now you're good.
For what?
Okay, good. I'll take this from you. Nice. You can put your. All right, Doc. So according to the test that we just did, it's gonna have you answer some questions. I'll go over the first one with you, and then I'll let you do the rest on your own because they do get personal. Okay?
Okay, sure.
So it looks like you have 54 questions. Okay. And then I'll let you work on that, and I'll be back.
I'm gonna turn this off. This is gonna be boring. So we're doing A1C and vitamin D3 test. Let's hope it is better today than it was last week, but we won't talk about it. All right, so far so good. I'm still alive. So I'm in the middle of doing the new patient exam, very thorough, as you will see later. But right now is the actual clinical portion of an exam. Did my 3D scan, my FMX, all kinds of other good stuff. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I noticed you took out all your wisdom teeth. That's
I
awesome.
do. Yeah. I avoid dentists at all costs. Except my dad was a dentist, and that's why I have all this work. Which is interesting. I figured if my dad was a dentist, I shouldn't have all this work.
Probably except for what's going on in your gut.
Oh, it's my lower back. Remember my lower back and my neck? So the meridians point clearly to this neck issue 14. My spine, my lower back, has always been issues, but it's been worse lately. So just for you, 2 days ago, I woke up and I just walked around and twisted a little bit and irritated it again. So I don't prophylactically invert as much as I should. I retroactively invert all the time.
Conscious.
Conscious station, okay.
Yeah, from fall percent. It's so nice. As you will experience.
I've never been on that side.
It's phenomenal.
General.
In this first door in my room, there's a little blue thing. Alright, so next we're going to do a cat test. And so I'll have you pull up your pen, right? So go ahead and rest your right. So what we're checking is to see if you're taking in magnesium. And that demo place is obviously around over here. Is it wet over this? Go ahead and open it.
Really been better. Almost illegal.
And here doesn't go that far back.
Nice, the Carestream scan.
This may be in here.
Lots of testing. So we're almost done. It's been about 2.5 hours, and we took a ton of readings, trying to be quiet in here, and I feel very thoroughly examined, which is great. Some really good information. Next is just a 3D scan for my mouth.
face scan
Face scan.
and surgery. Awesome, perfect, great. Good, and then come back this way, over to your right. And then come back to the middle. You're gonna stay there. I'm gonna scan under your chin right here. All right, Doc, you're all set.
That's crazy. We ran out of GoPro footage, so it's gonna be this from here for. But that was the face scan. Meridian. This little guy right here is going home.
Tight. Alright, so when they're waiting in here like this, I like to just put this back here so in case they need to use the restroom, they're not waiting. So it's one of the other gauze.
Alright, looks like the exam portion is over. Lots of records. I try to get as much video footage for you guys to show you what we go through. Currently getting my first IV, and this is for you know, I'll show you what's in it later actually, but boosting your immune system, some antibiotics in it as well. And then there'll be an IV tomorrow, and there'll be an IV the day after. Yeah. What a day. It's D-Day, or remove the dead root canal day for me. It's really early this morning because there's no eating or drinking for 8 hours for me, since it's under local anesthesia with some conscious sedation. So it takes maybe 1 to 2 hours, but that's just how some doctors like to do it, which is fine with me. Almost like sleep through the procedure. But no eating or drinking for 8 hours, and get up early, get in there. It's going to start at like 8 a.m. here in Salt Lake City time, and you know, should take like 2 hours, I'm anticipating. So I'm going to document the procedure for you guys as discussed as much as possible. Hopefully get some pictures of the little nasty root canal, whatever's left of it, when it's on the counter, and maybe if possible actually send out the root canal for analysis. And all this stuff costs money, but we'll see if that's necessary. It's gonna be pretty gross. It's already been determined yesterday that through new CT scans, 3D scans, that there is a perforation in the sinus, which is going to make this much more exciting. Anyhow, looking forward to getting this done and leveling up some of the health challenges we all have that I relate partially to this root canal. All right, I'm in recovery. It's been about 2 hours and all nice and numb. Woke like up pretty easily. My speech is kind of messed up, and everything's all slower, but all is good. I will ask all the details, but I lived. All right, post-op check. Been about 2 hours. Just woke up. Pretty restful. I don't really honestly remember anything about it. The area is sore. My speech is slurred. Not as quick mentally quite yet, but can't complain. So 14 implant size, we'll see. Haven't seen any x-rays, but no problem really whatsoever. Well, nonetheless. All right, that's update. I just literally got out of surgery maybe 20 minutes ago. I got some footage of the surgery, which you guys are really gonna like, and recuperating from that. I think about 2 hours of conscious sedation at the dental office. So they, being a good dental office, insisted on driving me home rather than Ubering it home because you do need a rider. I feel good, but maybe a little less steady, but pretty darn awesome after 2 hours of surgery. And removed the tooth, excuse me, in lots of pieces, and we're able to place I think 4.6, and I'm gonna try to remember, about 13 millimeter implant, I think, into the sinus. Slight sinus bump with PRP, drawn from your own blood. Lots of wonderful infection, which is, you want to find something after you go through all this process. Lots of wonderful infection. We'll look at it on the microscope and see what we can find there. Then we place PRP, or platelet-rich plasma, from my blood all around that implant, and then a certain healing membrane on top, which precludes you from needing stitches, which is kind of cool. But you got to be more careful. And then we wear a guard. On top of that, I have a night guard that I want to wear for now, but there's another guard you wear during the day to not touch that tooth. Yes, you're on a excuse me. Yes, you're on a liquid diet. Broth is squash, soup. You really can't poke the area. With a maxillary or top tooth sinus area for an implant, you're not going to get as much initial stability on the implant versus the lower tooth. So I think we got up to 25 Newton centimeters. 25 Newton centimeters is good, but you just can't put any lateral forces on it at all for months. So you got to be very careful with what you eat, and we'll talk about that a little bit more down the line. And that being said, I'm going to order a soup. I'm trying to find a natural grocer here in Salt Lake City, and then DoorDash, because you're not supposed to walk. We don't want to raise the blood pressure. We definitely want to get DoorDashed a couple things, mainly coffee, honestly. Coffee. But DoorDash, a soup, squash is really high in vitamin A, and you're going to need that for healing. I'll be back tomorrow to the office for some healing remedies, PEMF mat treatments, lymphatic massage, myofascial therapy, things like that. Plus, I'm going to try to pick up some of the things that I would usually order, but since it takes time to order the supplements for healing, as well as some of the modalities such as a home ozone machine, which we will talk about. And red light therapy lights, we have them in our dental office in Bozeman, but I can't steal or borrow those lights for home healing purposes. So we will purchase some of those from the office here, because they're nice enough to offer them for patients, and so I think that's really important to have. Now, I don't even know what time it is, but once you're done with surgery, you got to take it super easy. Most critical part is going to be the next couple days, and then you want to nourish your body, right? You want the anesthesia to wear off 24, 48 hours, and nourish your body. So that's my next step right now. So I'm going to go look for some healthy lunch at this point, and some not too hot, lukewarm coffee, because you don't want to burn the site. And then it's going to be training myself to chew on the right side. Since the surgery was here, this is my right side. Different on the camera probably. but you want to eat on the other side. You can't eat foods that are going to poke or put pressure on that side. So it's a little bit of a pain, but you got to go through the healing process properly. And if you don't, then it's all for naught, right? That's it. I'm going to compile some photos and videos for you guys. Post-op care is very, very important. We dive into that a little bit more details. I did have my second IV during the procedure, which this time went into my wrist. And that, of course, includes vitamin C, azithromycin, all kinds of other things, glutathione, probably magnesium. I'm not sure what was in this one. I will double check. And then tomorrow is the third IV. You want to try to prevent any type of infection, and you want to aid the body in healing. The anesthetic, or the actual anesthetic, the physical anesthetic, wears off pretty soon now, and that's going to result in some soreness and some discomfort. Most dental practices will recommend ibuprofen, Tylenol, mixes thereof. Very few people do narcotics anymore for many reasons. I'm going to try to minimize any type of anti-inflammatory pain medication because they all have side effects, and I don't expect it to be terrible, but if it is uncomfortable, it's going to be some form of ibuprofen for me. I'm not a huge fan of taking Tylenol for many reasons. Again, that's all I can think of this second. I need to focus on getting some food in here since it's been a long time since I ate, and you gotta feed the beast. All right, stay tuned for more. All right, I can't speak with that, but it sure helps to wear a night guard or some kind of appliance. Let's count today. I probably look a little under the weather or not my spunky self, but there's a reason for that. This morning, 8 o'clock, got into the surgery room. Fantastic staff and doctors and anesthesiologists. Honestly, they were first class. I think the way people care is so important. The way they explain and talk to you, because you can't help but be nervous, right? You get there and you don't know exactly what's going to happen. I honestly never had conscious sedation, a little different to talk, in my life. So I've done it for patients many times, but never on myself. And that is an eye-opener that I want to share with you guys. So I got there, obviously no eating or drinking for 8 hours before. It's been probably like 10 hours. And, going to bed without drinking or eating or drinking anything is actually harder than when you wake up. Once I woke up, that was fine. I guess you're a little bit nervous. You don't sleep quite as well anyhow. But you don't, surprisingly, crave any food or water, not even coffee, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it's the nerves. Get an Uber ride to the clinic, and got there so early. I did a little bit of walking in the morning, which was really nice. Just it's a beautiful area, beautiful building. This guy was perfect. Weather was good, and that's a really good way to start a day. I think I took some footage of that for you guys. As soon as the office opened, got inside, everybody was perfect. You got to sign your consents, of course, and to verify what you're going to be doing. And then they get you right back. You put your belongings to a certain place. And some people have to wear, depends. I didn't, but you do sit on a pad in case there's an accident. Thank God there was no accidents, at least not as far as I know. I was out. You sit down on the operatory. I got a couple pictures of what that looks like. It's a pretty full room. You got the anesthesiologist there, who's super nice. I mean, they talk and distract you while they give you the IVs on your wrist, most likely, both sides. And you get your final IV as well at the same time, which would be the, the one I had the day before, and then I'll have another one tomorrow, vitamin C, azithromycin, magnesium, all that good stuff, glutathione. All to boost your health and hopefully reduce any type of post-op complications. And then as soon as they, I think it's Versed, as soon as they give you a little bit of that Versed while you're talking to him,
I don't even remember when I stopped talking, which is kind of a weird feeling. But we're having a good conversation. Think about travel. Yeah, something distracting. Good guy. And the next thing I remember, honestly, is just in the same position, opening up my eyes, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" And no pain, no discomfort, no disorientation, nothing unusual actually whatsoever. It's almost like I was out for maybe 5 minutes. A good sleep, maybe, like a good rest. No pain. A little numbness on the left side because you do use local anesthetic at the same time, and you use a long-lasting local anesthetic, probably Marcaine. I'm not sure what they used, but it's gonna last a couple hours for obvious reasons. Wake up, have a conversation, make sure everything is going well, and then you feel like you can get up, right? So you're going to move over to maybe a surgical recuperation room, which is what they have, which is good. And you're like, I can do it. They're like, no. They want to insist on putting you in a wheelchair. Like, I need a wheelchair. So they just assisted me in walking to the recuperation room, which is like literally 15 steps away. We sit down and we talk about how everything went, which the doctor came in. We talked about how everything went, and it went well. And it tells you what they did, the implant size, what they expected, etc. So I got all that information, and then some post-op recommendations. You won't remember as much of this, so there's no point in spending a ton of time with this with your doctor, because it's just gonna go. You're gonna have to write it down, or it's gonna come written down for you, and then you're gonna have that same conversation the next day, because you have about 24 to 48 hours of the anesthetic, or the stuff in your blood, the conscious sedation anesthetic, to wear off. You need to ride home, and that's absolutely very, very critical. I sat there for maybe 20 minutes or so. They make sure everything's going well, and then you're on your way. So gathered my stuff, went to the front desk, discussed some more protocols really quick, all with assistance. They want you to be in a wheelchair or assist. And something really nice was I don't have any family here, and I had an Uber scheduled to take me back to the hospital, take me back to the hotel room. And the staff said, "No, we're gonna drive you." And so what they did is, we had one of the most amazing nurses walk me all the way to her car, take me personally to the hotel, up into the hotel room, talk to me the whole time about important things. She was going to make me a nice dinner. She's like, "You need to eat healthy. There's a kitchen in this room here." We have same philosophies on food and all that, so that was really good. I did manage to order some food here, not as easy as in Bozeman, honestly, to tell you the truth, but I got some soups and things like that. A lot of really, true coconut juice, the pink stuff, for electrolytes, etc. And just rest, So that's how that went. I got home. I got to the hotel room. I was tired. Didn't really have any pain. No pain to this point. So little numbness as well. Had my night guard. I put my night guard in, which actually made a pretty good difference. Protects the site a little bit. Pushes the cheek out a little bit. Keeps you from touching it with your tongue. We used a material that doesn't require stitches, which is fantastic, but your tongue is pretty abrasive, so you got to keep your tongue away from it. So there's a splint you wear during the day and a splint you wear at night. I have my nighttime splint, and I'm going to get the daytime splint tomorrow. They're all 3D printed, which is fantastic. What else? Tried to rest a little bit, had some water right away, and a cup of coffee, because, I usually drink my cappuccino in the morning, and honestly, I'm not sure that I want a caffeine withdrawal at the same time. So the coffee was fantastic. It wasn't great coffee, but having coffee was fantastic. It got me back on track to feeling normal. A couple hours later, sitting there watching some stupid TV, just trying to rest and eat some healthy food, you start to feel heavy. Like my whole body just feels heavy. I'm a little bit warm, but that's not unusual. I don't feel swollen or achy or feverish, just a little warmer and very heavy. I wouldn't say tired as much as exhausted, you know, just like your body feels heavy. Like you couldn't really walk a mile very easily, and that's expected as well. So I'm gonna try to get an early bedtime in. It's around 7, is it 7 o'clock now? I'm not sure. And try to sleep as much as I possibly can with a night guard, of course. Wake up, and then tomorrow I'm lucky enough to get back home in the evening. My wife is the best cook, and I'm sure we can make some amazing, healthy, soft food for a very long time. When you put an implant in, you're looking at how tight you can get it. 25 Newton centimeters is what we got on this tooth. It's all due to bone density and all that good stuff. So that is not the tightest implant. 35 is my preference, or higher. And so any lateral forces on that little piece that sticks up above the gum can cause problems, and it could fail. So we don't necessarily want that. So I'm gonna wear this night guard and day guard all the time. No lateral forces on the implant, meaning no food that's hard or heavy to chew. When you chew, you're actually pushing the food left and right into your gums, into your teeth. And so you gotta be aware of that. None of that. I'm thinking at least a couple weeks for that to happen. And in 4 months, we're gonna go check it again to see if it has integrated. And we use a certain, it's a pretty easy way to test. We don't twist it, we just use a little tool that touches the implant, tells you the integration level. We will do that in 4 months, and then maybe we'll restore at that point. The good thing is, of course, that the hard part is over. Now, healing is very important. There's so many supplements you can take. Everybody has their own protocol, including myself, of course. Dominic Nishvitz has his bone healing protocol. Dr. Here has his healing protocols. They all vary slightly. Most important is going to be a very organic, broad diet, and there's specifics in it, and I'll share that with you guys later. It's on a piece of paper. We try to follow that anyhow when you're just living, but when you're healing, it's absolutely critical to have this proper diet. And I think the best thing that any dentist can do for their patients is make the thinking part easier. Everything's written down, lists 1, 2, 3. First day, this is what you're going to expect, this is what you're going to eat. Meal plans would be great. Specific foods would be great. I mean, everything. When you're going through this procedure, even as a dentist, you have questions and unknowns. And the more questions and unknowns we can answer, the better. Gotta get that? I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and it's got a little later. I put my hat on so I feel a little bit more normal, and still a little bit numb, which is good. So tomorrow, I'm going to bed now, a little early, and without my night guard. Feels a little weird, so I'm going to wear that thing until I get the other guard. Tomorrow, get up early, have a little coffee, have some real healthy coconut juice, the pink stuff, a lot of electrolytes in that. And then I'm not sure when, but tomorrow I go back to the office, and it's going to be a lymphatic massage, myofascial therapy, which is absolutely critical in so many aspects. In our practice in Bozeman, we are training our dental hygienists to become a myofunctional therapist, which is going to be an incredible asset for the patients. So myofunctional therapy designed to increase, the muscle health, less tenderness, move the lymph fluids, etc. My TMJs are a little irritated, so I will adjust my night guard and reduce some pressure on the posterior teeth, and do some prolotherapy with Hillary. So Hillary to practice on me there. And my doc here was going to do it for me, which was awesome, but I want us to do it as well, and so I'm going to have Hillary do it. And there is a little bit of a tongue tie that I could have benefited from as well. I held off on that because we're going to be doing tongue ties in our practice very soon, among other things, and with a very cool laser, so I can be another test subject, but I don't mind being a test subject for that. Grows back pretty quickly and it needs to be done. So we'll do that. Then some red light therapy tomorrow, I believe we'll do. There's a red light bed, which is great to have. And then we start the point therapy for the red lights on the left and right TMJ area and on the left and right of the tooth socket itself. I can demonstrate that when I get back to Bozeman, where we'll be doing that on a daily basis. 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm sorry, 1 minute, 1 minute, 10 seconds, 10 seconds on the tooth side. Then my flight's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Right around, actually it's more like 4:30 p.m. Boarding time. Not a huge fan of flying right after this, but I got a little one to take care of and help out with, family, and that is super important to me. And then we start all the supplements tomorrow. Started some today, but we're going to start more of them tomorrow. And as I said, everybody has their own protocols. I might try the one here for this office because I want to see how they all work. And then I'll pick one. I'm always adjusting my protocols based on what works best. Nobody knows everything, and if I find something that works better or that I feel is easier to take for patients, I change. I'm not married to one way or the highway kind of situation. If I learn something that I feel works better for me or for my patients, I change. I'm always growing, and I think all doctors, dentists need to be constantly reevaluating how they do things and grow and learn. And that's never ending. You never know it all. So that is the end of day 2, and honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised how easy everything was. The constant sedation went really well. I was a little fearful of that because I've never had it before. Things can go wrong, but everything went really well, and so I'm more of a fan now than I was even before. If you guys have any questions, you are welcome to comment, ask me. I'll be putting together again a personal experience extraction kind of video that's going to cut all these things together a little shorter, and then my goal is to teach a class on how to do a proper biological extraction for the general dentist. So there's so many different levels of doing this, okay? You don't have to necessarily do everything to do a good job. If you take a few tidbits of information out of this back to your practice and you implement them, you're going to help your patients. And if you want the simplified version of how to get started on a more biological extraction, and then you're like level 1, level 2, level 3, that's what I want to help dentists with, because everybody should be doing extractions like this. All right, that's it for today. Go to bed and get a good night's sleep. Thank you guys for listening.
So this was Michelle's amazing craniosacral lymphatic massage, and I feel a million times better already.
All right, just finished a really good lymphatic craniosacral massage, and now it's red light. So this is gonna be, I think, one of the final steps after checking everything. We're just coming along really well. No pain, no swelling. Yeah, pretty impressed. Looking forward to this.
All right, we're exactly 1 week post-op from removing number 14 biologically in Salt Lake City area and placing an SDS ceramic implant. And I report 0 pain so far, 0 discomfort. Really quite amazing. So what do I attribute this 0 pain post-op experience Two, well, first, I think preparation is key, right? Doing the surgery when you're actually healthy enough to do it. So that was number one. Number two, the right surgeon. I picked my surgeon very carefully for their skill and knowledge, and all the procedures they went through to make this as perfect as possible. Number three, post-op care. You have to take care of yourself afterwards. That involves diet, taking the proper nutrients that you will be given, and just being careful with the site. So far, that has worked out really well for me, and that's what I do for my patients as well. Unfortunately, an extraction often is an acute situation and not something that you can actually prepare for. And then your vitamin D levels and all that preparation goes out the window, and we have to do as much as we can, maybe the day before and the day of, and you may end up struggling a little bit through healing and the process, but you know, you do the best you can. If you're looking at removing old root canal teeth that you feel are due for removal, it's personal choice, and then this is something you can prepare for, and you should prepare for. You should take about a month to get as much health into your system, as much supplement, vitamin D3, K2, magnesium, vitamin C, you know, all that good stuff. It takes about a month. So prepare for a month of building your health before you do this procedure, okay? Get your vitamin D3s checked, find the right surgeon, biological dentist, and then prepare. The most frequent failure I see during a procedure like this, extraction, implant, whatever it may be that involves surgery, is the stress level after the procedure. So stress is probably the biggest killer, and if you are stressing out after this procedure, meaning you go home and you jump right back into work and, you know, life stress at home, relationship stress, etc., you're going to have a hard time healing, and you're going to have a higher rate of failure and a possible redo in the future if that extraction doesn't go as planned. So do this when you are able to chill out for a little bit, not take anything too serious, and heal. Last but not least, I guess the hardest part for me so far in this whole process has been what to eat after the procedure. So, you know, I'm used to eating a Western priced diet, lots of quality meat, things like that. But with this, you know, soft food diet, I'm in new territory, and you can only have so many soups. So I'm creating a meal plan for 2 weeks for myself, for my patients, and for anybody who's really interested. But there should be a very clear what to eat for 2 weeks every single day before you start this process, because you know, when you're done with the procedure, you don't want to have to worry about what you can eat, you know, and who's going to feed you, or what restaurant you can go to. You know, you want to know day 1 through day 14, what are you going to eat? And I'm making that. So check below, that should be linked fairly soon. You can download your 2-week meal plan and shopping list that goes with it, making things easier.